because Krishna wanted it. And the second is Balaram stayed home. And there are different reasons why Balaram stayed home, but he wasn't there. There was a birthday, or he had some relative. There's different acharyas say different reasons why he wasn't there. Balaram wasn't there. It's important that he wasn't there. It would have messed up the Leela if he was there. So he wasn't there. And then they play, so chapter 12, they play and play and play and play. That's the first half. That very celebrated verse, Krita Punya Punja. After narrating all the playful activities of the cowherd boys, Shukadeva Goswami kind of goes into trance. And a very special verse, how fortunate are these cowherd boys? And he compares the cowherd boys to the Gyanis that have Brahmasuk, Brahma Saukyam Twanantam. Nothing compared to the happiness of the cowherd boys. And then other comparisons. They're so exalted, these cowherd boys. I mean, Shukadeva Goswami is not a cowherd boy, but he understands how fortunate they are. His meditation carried him to the place where he just couldn't speak for a while. Then he goes back to speaking. What happened next is, as the boys are playing and playing and playing and play, super playing mood, they see this giant 8-mile long serpent. I mean, how long was the drive, Saranga, how long was the drive between Fort Lauderdale and the Miami airport? How many miles?
31.
31 miles. 31 miles?
31, 33.
31, 33. It's like 8 Agasuras. No, excuse me, 4 Agasuras. 4 Agasuras. The guy's big. And his upper jaw's in the clouds and his lower jaw's on the ground. The guy's big. And the cowherd boys are playing. So they see this giant thing, think, oh, how nice, somebody made a playground for us out here in the middle of the forest. Let's go. And because they're playing. They're little boys, and anything is an opportunity to play. And as they get closer, they see his eyes are moving. And they get closer, they smell this bad, fishy smell from his breath. And it means he's eaten other living entities. And they think, wait a minute. And some of them start to run, and others say, no, it's a play place. And they're debating about what it is and what it isn't. And they say, well, even if he's a demon, wants to kill us, just yesterday, pre-chapter 11, Krishna killed Baka. Yeah. So if he's trying to harm us, Krishna will take care of him. Let's go. So off they go. And how many cowherd boys are there? Asankhataha. That's a lot. Too many, you can't count them. Some finite number, but too many. And calves. And they all go marching into the mouth of Agasura. And this is the key. Krishna didn't want them to go, and they went. But he has such a sankalpa shakti, or whatever he does happens. And what he wanted to not happen, happened. So there's this very wonderful discussion, and it has something to do with the pastime that's coming up, chapter 13. Leela Shakti arranged the whole thing. Why? Krishna wanted, and so Leela Shakti arranged, that he would experience astonishment and compassion, because compassion, karuna rasa, this is a science of Rupa Goswami of rasa, tattva. But Krishna has a relationship with the cowherd boys of friendship and servitorship, mixed rasa. And that's primary rasa, and the secondary rasa was, the nature of secondary rasas is it eclipses, the primary rasa is still there, but the secondary rasa becomes so prominent, it conceals or eclipses the primary rasa. And so he's feeling astonishment. And then he begins to reflect, how did this happen? And he said, and he concludes, it's my Leela Shakti. They knew that I wanted to have this experience, and so they arranged this. So what I wanted wouldn't happen. Because otherwise what I want happens. And then when they entered the mouth, the Aghasura demon didn't close his mouth because he wanted to kill Krishna. So now Krishna is looking at this gigantic demon, thinking how to rescue he feels compassion because he knows the cowherd boys see him as their life and soul, and he has similar reciprocal affection for the cowherd boys. So he's perplexed. The Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes perplexed. Right? Leela Shakti. So that he can be in this position and teach us a lesson too. What do you do when you get perplexed? You don't know what to do. Now, we rely on Krishna, but he's Krishna. So he contemplated how marvelous is my Leela Shakti. And specifically, Sukadeva Goswami says he waited for the intelligence to understand how to kill the demon, to rescue the cowherd boys, and to rescue the cowherd boys. And how he did that was very nice. And then that's the end of chapter 12. Then chapter 13, because we're going back to chapter 14. Chapter 13 it ends with Krishna picks a nice spot to have lunch because they didn't have breakfast yet. It's still the same day. They didn't have breakfast yet, so he picks a nice spot for the cowherd boys to have breakfast by the bank of the river Jamuna. And Sandy and this and that, a beautiful description of the scene. Beautiful Vrindavan. It's like, whoa, beautiful Vrindavan. And up in the sky, the demigods, one of the things that it caught Krishna's attention, the demigods were watching all this. And when the cowherd boys entered the mouth of a Aghasura demon, the demigods shouted and cried out in tears, no! When Krishna heard that was it. He had to relieve the demigods of that anxiety, so he entered the mouth of a Aghasura demon, became really big and suffocated him. Anyway, now it's lunchtime. It's one of the standard things that happens after Krishna kills a demon in Vrindavan. Time for lunch. Change of mood. And it says, right in the verse of the Bhagavatam, that this giant creature, 8-mile-long creature, stayed there for a long, long time, and it dried up and became a playground. It became what the boys thought it was supposed to be. For a long time. Dead snake, playground. But that's what the Bhagavatam says. So, watching from above, demigods, and Lord Brahma. That's chapter 13. Lord Brahma saw this light come from the head of Aghasura, hover in the air, and enter into the body of Krishna. Wow. He tried to kill Krishna, and Krishna gave him liberation. How powerful is this little boy? So he started to ponder, what's the limit? Is there a limit? What other wonderful pastimes can he do? I'd want to see some of those wonderful pastimes that he can do. So he came up with a very bad plan. The very bad plan was the calves, listen carefully, the calves started to wander, fresh grass. The boys were absorbed in being with Krishna and playing, but they noticed the calves were gone. Krishna said, don't worry, This is important. He eats with his right hand, and so he had in his left hand he had a lump of yogurt and some fruit. So he said, "You don't worry. I'll go find the calves." Now Krishna knew what Brahma's plan was. So what happened, because Krishna knew what Brahma's plan was, listen, Yogamaya concealed, this is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Yogamaya hid the cowherd boys, Krishna's cowherd boys. The eternal associates of Krishna were hidden from vision. 2, Maya cowherd boys, just like when Ravana wanted to steal Sita, Maya Sita, because Ravana can't touch Sita. So Maya Sita. Similarly, Maya cowherd boys. So that's what is the scene. The Maya cowherd boys and Maya calves, created by Mahamaya. And that's who Brahma stole. And then Brahma's going back to the scene of the crime to see what's Krishna going to do. Because he stole his calves and cowherd boys, leaving Krishna alone. And when he came back, Krishna wasn't alone. There was all the calves and all the cowherd boys having the lunch. And when he saw them, Krishna smiled. And there's details, but all at once, for every one of those asankhita cowherd boys, Krishna manifested a form of Vishnu, the big Vishnu and the little cowherd boy, simultaneously the cowherd boy and Vishnu. And then all of the energies of creation, spiritual and material creation, manifested, personified, and were offering prayers. It's like the big long list of who showed up. And Brahma's seeing all this, and the universes are appearing and disappearing and appearing and disappearing, and he created one universe, and Krishna, sitting there, is manifesting all of these Vishnu forms. Now, Einstein taught us something. Prabhupada accepts. But the Vedas accept. There's relative time. Yes? The life of a mosquito, or the life of a microbe, maybe 24 hours. And our life is whatever it is, 100 years. And the life of the demigods is much longer. The life of Brahma is much longer. Time is relative. For example, just yesterday morning, not this morning, yesterday morning I was hearing Prabhupada describe 1 month has 2 Ekadasis. No, excuse me, two Ekadasis. The 14th, the 11th day and the 11th day, the waxing and the waning. So in the waxing moon, there's 15 days. 15 days here equals 1 day on the heavenly planets. 15 days of the waning moon is 1 night. 1 month in the heavenly realm is 1 day. Should I do it again? It's clear. In Brahmaloka, 1 moment is 1 year. So Brahma was gone, and 1 moment later, he came back. But 1 year had passed on the earthly realm. And on the earthly realm, each of the cowherd boys that was Krishna, each one of the cowherd boys that was Krishna went back home and told mom and dad, guess what happened today? Da-da-da-da-da-da. And then the boys lived together with their parents. The mothers. Is it possible that your son could come home and you don't recognize whether it's your son or not? It looks a little bit like, you can tell the difference, but they couldn't tell the difference. So listen, we have 3 sets of cowherd boys. The original cowherd boys, Yogamaya concealed them. Maya, cowherd boys. Krishna, cowherd boys. That's 3 sets. Identical looking. Identical. That's cool. But that's Krishna. And for 1 year, the mothers of the boys, they wanted to have Krishna as their son. They're happy with their son. They wanted Krishna as their son also. So Krishna became their son. And the cows had calves, but they wanted Krishna to become their calf. So Krishna became their calf. There's devotees too. They wanted Krishna as their calf. So he became their calf for 1 year. And this is a nice painting. The larger painting shows there one day during this year, the cows were up on Govardhan Hill, grazing, the cowherd men tending the cows. At the bottom of Govardhan Hill was the boys and the calves. And the cows saw their calves, who were Krishna. So cows started running down Govardhan Hill. You ever see a cow run? It's very awkward. But they can run. And I haven't even gotten to chapter 14 yet. We're still doing chapter 13. So during that period of 1 year, the calves went running down the hill, the cowherd men waving their sticks in the air saying, stop, whatever, how you were to say that in local language, and they wouldn't stop because they wanted to be with their calves, who was Krishna. But when they got to the bottom of the hill, they saw their cowherd boys, the fathers, and they forgot everything. They just embraced their boys, and Balaram is watching, Krishna is watching the fun. But it's all forms of Krishna, both the calves and the boys who are being embraced by the fathers and the cows. So this is a nice painting where Lord Brahma, before he kidnaps the cowherd boys, he sees all this, then he sees this. And then so Krishna withdrew these Vishnu forms, and it was just Krishna standing alone without the cowherd boys manifest before Balaram's, Lord Brahma's eyes. And Lord Brahma, so just the two of them. With unblinking eyes, Krishna with the yogurt in his left hand, looking at Lord Brahma. And that's the end of chapter 13. So now we're ready for his prayers. I hope. Now there's several sections of prayers. There's 60 prayers, so I've divided it into groups. The first 8, we're going to hear the first 7 of the first 8, because text number 8 is a very special verse. That's day after tomorrow. So his humility, his description of Krishna's inconceivable potencies. He makes this nice presentation about the difference between knowledge and ignorance. He glorifies the gopis, and he glorifies Krishna. So it's 40 verses, makes chapter 14. So we're going to be looking at these, actually the first 7 of those 8. So I'm calling it the first half. Brahma has directly realized that Nandana is the source of all forms of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Having attained firm devotion at the lotus feet of Krishna, Brahma profusely praises the Lord. So we're going to go through the first 7 verses. There's some wonderful teachings about Srimad Bhagavatam that I want to share just before we go forward a little any further. The sound vibration, as we know that the holy name is not different than Krishna, the sound of Srimad Bhagavatam is not different than Krishna. And our acharyas explain elaborately, Srimad Bhagavatam is self-revelatory. That is to say, the meanings of who is Krishna is revealed through the sound vibration of the mantra. So we're going to be reciting the translations of these first 7 mantras. And the sound it's meant for meditation. You'll see. It explains the nature of Krishna, but it reveals the form of Krishna by hearing it. Here's Brahma offering the first prayer. My dear Lord, you are the only worshipable Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore I offer my humble obeisances and prayers just to please you. Then he describes his form. He's enthralled by Krishna's form. O son of the king of the cowherds, your transcendental body is dark blue, like a new cloud. Your garment is brilliant, like lightning. The beauty of your face is enchanted by your gunja earrings and peacock feather on your head. No, this is a meditation on the form of Krishna, which you can get just from chanting of Krishna's name. And added to the chanting of Krishna's name is the message about Krishna from Srimad Bhagavatam, because this is Brahma telling us what he's seeing, or he's telling Krishna what he's seeing. He's telling us what he's seeing. And in a short while, these very same verses, the very same images are going to be explained with deeper meaning by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. It's a meditation. It's meant to be a meditation, and it's self-revelatory. Wearing garlands, plural, of various forest flowers and leaves, equipped with a herding stick, a buffalo horn, and a flute. You stand beautifully with a morsel of food in your hand. Notice his left hand is still extended, waiting for Brahma to finish his prayers, because he wants to get back with the counterpoise. Jiva Goswami's commentary. Oh, most worthy of worship, Idya, you are worthy of praise because today I have seen the whole material and spiritual realms enter into and emerge from you, the Supreme Brahman, composed of power and sweetness. With heart attracted to Krishna's childhood pastimes, Brahma points out more particular items, which we're going to hear again. Now this is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is going to elaborate on the hidden meaning or the poetic implication of what Brahma is saying. His body is the color of a dark rain cloud. So this is Vishwanath explaining the earth gets relief from the scorching heat of summer through the cloud of Krishna's rain. Like the Chataka bird, devotees sustain their lives with the mercy pouring from the rain clouds of Krishna. Now, anyone that's heard Srila Prabhupada lectures know about, I didn't know what a Chataka bird was until I heard Prabhupada explain. Most birds take water from a reservoir of water. Like you put out in your backyard a little bird bath, and they'll come and fly in and take a bath and drink some water and fly away. But at Chatak, they don't do this. They'll only take water that comes directly from rain. And if there's no rain, they die, because you need water to survive. So just as the chatak bird, devotees are also sustained by this downpour of rain. The color of Krishna is like that of a dark rain cloud. The poetic implication is devotees live on the mercy that come from that dark rain cloud, namely Krishna, the mercy that comes from Krishna. The gunja, berry, earrings, forest flower garlands, it was actually plural, and peacock feather. Gunja berries are abundant in Vrindavan. It's no big deal. But in Vrindavan, it's a big deal because these gunja berries, many of you, some of you may not know, many of you will know that there was a time when one sannyasi visited Vrindavan and brought back from Vrindavan a gift for Lord Chaitanya, 2 gifts. You were? Govardhan Shila and Gunja berry necklace. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu worshipped in ecstasy of love this Govardhan Shila and Gunja berries, and after 1 year's time he gave them to Raghunath Das Goswami. That's how dear Raghunath Das Goswami was. And by that gift, Raghunath Das understood, Lord Chaitanya is giving me a place of residence at Govardhan Hill and the mercy of Srimati Radharani in the form of the Gunja berries. I mean, that's elevated Vaishnavas, and we're not elevated Vaishnavas, but Vishwanath is, and he's helping us understand what Lord Brahma is saying, poetically, the deeper meaning. By Krishna wearing Gunja berries, it's very, very special. It's more special than the precious jewels of Vaikuntha. I mean, there's precious jewels in this realm, but there's precious jewels in Vaikuntha that are far greater than anything of this realm. And the Gunja berries that are abundant in Vrindavan, Krishna's wearing them. And they're superior to the precious jewels of Vrindavan, or Vaikuntha. Forest garlands, should be plural, of wild flowers and leaves around Krishna's neck is superior to those made of the parijata flowers from Swargaloka. You know, a big deal, the parijata flower, and Satyabhama wanted a whole tree. It's a big deal. And Vrindavan, these forest garland of wild flowers and leaves are superior. Krishna's cowherding stick, buffalo horn, yogurt rice in his hand, mentioned. That's what the sight of Brahma. The morsel of yogurt rice in Krishna's hand, the stick and horn, indicate this, the superiority of Krishna's cowherd boy from all others. Krishna's soft feet, mridupade, that's in the Sanskrit of this verse. Those wandering in the forest of Vrindavan become filled with ecstasy upon seeing Krishna's footprints. Now it's just, he's taking a verse, this is the first verse. He's taking the first verse and zooming us in, or his heart has zoomed in and he's sharing with us what Brahma is feeling, what's he conveying, and what nectar one can receive by hearing carefully, properly, and meditating upon these prayers of Lord Brahma. It's 5 minutes to 8. I'm not going to get very far because I spent so much time doing this warm-up, getting us into the mood of the pastime itself, the prayers. But I'll do it anyways. Many of you know, some of you may not know, because I don't know the audience here, but it's nice to hear it again and again, even if you do know. There was a moment in time when Kamsa sent many demons to kill Krishna, and they failed. Krishna killed them instead. So he consulted his ministers what to do, and the ministers said, invite him here, and plan A, B, and C, you can kill Krishna, A, B, and C. He liked the idea. They spelled out what A, B, and C were. So he called one of his ministers. The minister that he called was Akrura. Now Akrura was Krishna Bhakta, deeply realized Krishna Bhakta. But at the same time, he's part of the royal family. He's not like the Kshatriya, he's the minister type. So as the minister type, he was given a minister assignment. The minister assignment is go to Vrindavan, from Mathura to Vrindavan. I'll give you a royal chariot, nice spiffy Rolls Royce, and you can go to Vrindavan and bring Krishna back. The plan is A, B, and C. And at the end of it is, I'm going to kill Krishna. And Akrura thought, he can't kill Krishna. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's inviting his own death. Yes, I'll go. So he's got this royal chariot and going to Vrindavan, thinking, imagine, I'm going to meet Krishna today. His heart is pounding because he's a devotee, through and through devotee. He's not becoming a devotee. He's not like us. He's not a sadhaka. He's a very elevated devotee. There's many other things that happen later. He's a very elevated devotee. And the anticipating of today, I'm going to meet Krishna face to face. Wow. And as he's traveling into Vrindavan, he looks over the side of the chariot and sees Krishna's footprints in the soft sand of Vrindavan. He loses it. He falls out of the chariot, rolls on the ground in the dust of Vrindavan, touching the footprints of Krishna, and goes into ecstasy. What to speak of the residents of Vrindavan that see the footprints of Krishna every day? And it's not like familiarity breeds contempt. They just take it for granted. They have love. They're not sadhakas. They have love. So upon seeing Krishna's footprints, those wandering in the forest, they become filled with ecstasy. And there's Nanda and Yashoda. You know the pastime, a childhood pastime. Mother Yashoda makes a request. Krishna's a little boy. Little boy, doesn't speak yet. So he says, bring your father's shoes. So he goes over to the shoes and points at the shoes and looks at his mother. He's playing. He's at pastime. And she smiles. Bring them to your father. So he takes the shoes and puts the shoes on his head, toddles over to his father and brings his father his shoes. Look at that nice smile of Nanda Maharaj. How intimate is that loving exchange of parental affection? By stating that Krishna is the son of a cowherder, Pashupa Anga Jaya. Brahma shows the superior fortune of Nanda over Vasudeva. It's all in this first verse. It's just it's Krishna meditation. Finally, Vishwanath writes, Brahma, immersed in great ocean of Krishna's sweetness, mixed with respect because he has seen what he saw. So he's not a Brijvasi. He knows Krishna is the supreme. And there he is standing with a lump of yogurt and rice in his hand, staring at him with unblinking eyes. So he has respect and knowledge, but he also has been invited into this realm of sweetness. He praises Krishna with affection, and ask questions which are coming up. So this is Vishwanath again, considering what Brahma might be thinking, what Krishna might be thinking. Listen, Lord Brahma, you're the master of all powers in this universe. I'm but a coward boy, the son of a coward man in the forest. You're an ancient and exalted personality and but a small boy. You're knowledgeable of all the Vedas, but I'm ignorant, keeper of cows, and so unaware of proper conduct that I run around with some yogurt rice in my hand. I'm not qualified for your praise. That's the first verse. Focusing on his beauty and his ornaments and his dhoti and his features. My dear Lord, neither I nor anyone else can estimate the potency of this transcendental body of yours, which has shown such mercy to me, and which appears just to fulfill the desires of your pure devotees. A little comment. The painting on the right is the European BBT rewrite of Krishna book. Because what happened, and I remember this happening, in the (1971) or something like that, Krishna book was published. And that the artists were not accomplished, but they were devoted. So Prabhupada gave descriptions of what he wanted the artwork to be, and they did their best. And it was a little, nice, but not so nice, but devotional. And then the Krishna book was published with that artwork. Later, in German and French and in Sweden and Italian and this and that, the European BBT, they wanted to redo the artwork and when they published in their language. So they had some artists, and this is one of the paintings in the European BBT divisions. Brahmas looked pretty big. This is the B.G. Sharma painting. Although my mind is completely withdrawn from material affairs, I cannot understand your personal form. How then could I possibly understand the happiness you experience within yourself? He's just contemplating the inconceivable. Jiva Goswami writes, Brahma does not state in this verse that Brahman is incomprehensible in its impersonal feature, for he explains that Krishna, with his personal features, is more difficult to understand than Brahman. It's a nice way of saying it. Yes, it's possible for having some hint of an idea of the Brahman. It was in an earlier verse spoken by Shukadeva Goswami about the cowherd boys. The Brahma Sukh of the Gyanis, the spiritual happiness of Brahma, realization of Brahman that Gyanis may experience. So he's not saying you can't understand, Brahman is incomprehensible. But compared to Brahman having Brahma Sukh, it's another platform altogether to understand Krishna and his personal feature. Though you manifested many forms, you're only one form. That form showed me mercy because you protect my creation by destroying adharma and propagating dharmas. This is Sanatana Goswami's commentary. And there's the older style BBT painting. And the demigods flying up in the sky, and the various forms of Narayana and Brahma with his mouth gaping open. Phew. No one can understand the greatness of your cowherd boy form, superior to your form as the Lord of Vaikuntha. Your form is beyond material qualities. Again, Sanatana Goswami. Because of this, it, as Krishna's form, cannot be understood by the inner mind, what to speak of direct perception. And Brahma is very capable. I mean, he built the universe. He didn't just build Miami Beach or Miami Town or Florida or all the living entities that make up, the alligators and the swamps and, this and the mosquitoes. And he built the whole universe. He's pretty superlatively intelligent, but he is indicating understanding Krishna is very special. Now this is the last verse, a special, 3 times special verse. That's why it's color-coded. Gyane, let's say the verse together, the last verse. It's just, let's say it twice. It's a nice verse. Gyane prayasam udapasya namanta eva jivanti sanmukaritam bhavadiyavartam stane stitakshuti gatam tanavan manovir ye prayaso jitachito yasitais trilokyam. One more time. Jnane prayasam udapasya namanta eva jivanti sanmukaritam bhavadiyavartam sthane stitakshutikakam tanuvan manovir ye prayaso jitachito pyasitrais trilokyam. Nice sounding. And before coming here, I was in Houston, Texas. And when I left, I asked them to memorize this verse. And not just memorize it, but meditate on it. Verse number 1 is a really nice verse to meditate on also. It's the form of Krishna. It's like you meditate on that verse and it's a painting. When to speak of the many nice paintings. And so it's a way... Krishna's form becomes revealed to one who hears Srimad Bhagavatam with that kind of attention. So it's nice to just chant as we just did, and then chant it again, and chant it again, and chant it again, and meditate on the meaning of the words. So here we're going to do that a little bit. Here's the translation. Those who, even while remaining situated in their established social positions, that's the stane statak. Remaining situated in their established social positions. Throw away the process of speculative knowledge. Udapasya namanta eva. With their body, words, and mind, tanavan manobhir, offer all respects to the descriptions, that's what we're doing right now, of his personality and activities, dedicating their lives to these narrations, which are vibrated by you personally and by your pure devotees. Certainly conquer your lordship, Jita, although you're otherwise unconquerable, Ajita, by anyone within the 3 worlds. So it means you're going to be out of the 3 worlds. So little by little, we'll go through the verse. Gyane prayasam udapasya. Udapasya, not even a slight endeavor. Stop speculations. One should not even slightly endeavor to understand the absolute truth by the process of mental speculation. Gyane, prayasa is into endeavor. Prayasa means to endeavor. Endeavoring for jnana, Not even the slightest. Udapasya. Not even a slight endeavor. Why? It invariably carries one to an imperfect, impersonal understanding of God. So don't waste your time. So Gyan, that's how it starts. Jnane prayasam udapasya. Namanta. Obeisances. Namanta. Jivanti sanmukaritam bhavadiyavartan. So the illustration is clear. They're hearing Krishna. A devotee who always hears about Lord Krishna will go back home, back to Godhead, even if, this is Prabhupada, even if he can do nothing except maintain his existence. That's Jivanti. And hear topics concerning the Lord. Now supposing somebody's incapacitated, or supposing so many supposings. I know family from the earliest childhood. They have a very normal daughter. They had another daughter, a second daughter, and she's just, her body is a vegetable. She can't do anything. But her body keeps getting bigger. She's just, they're doing this. Her life is being maintained. It's major sacrifice to maintain this growing teenage girl that sits in a chair. She can't move. She can't speak. She can make sounds, but anyway, it's very difficult for the parents and the other sister that's quite normal. But this is a place of shelter for them. Jivanti sanmukaritam bhavadiyavartan. Stane statak. Even if the devotees stay in their social duties, they can conquer Krishna. How? Shrutigatam tanavam manobir. Their body, touch the lotus feet of the Lord. Words. Call him to come with their words. Mind, thinking about him. Shrutigatam. Taking shelter of hearing the topics of his name, form, pastimes, and qualities, which is what we're doing. Their body goes through it again, touching the lotus feet of the Lord. So this is in deity worship over there on the right. The Bhagavatam is also the form of the Lord. The form of the Lord in his book, the form of his Lord in his deity, and the form of the Lord in the words from the disciplic succession. With one's words, call him to come with their words by chanting, and other forms, just like Brahma is doing with his prayers. Ye prayaso jita jito pi asi taistrilokyam ajita. He's unconquered. By one's physical abilities, mental power, verbal expertise, or any other material faculty, he is unconquerable. But he becomes conquered. Ajita becomes Jitta by pure devotees. Tanavan Madobir. Krishna gets conquered by his pure devotees' offering of their body, mind, and words unto him. Lord Krishna's body, beautiful painting. Lord Krishna's body is conquered because he always remains by the side of his pure devotees. Look at Balaram is touching Krishna's ankles. And Mother Yasoda's, shh. He's asleep, don't wake him up. But he's got to touch Krishna's ankles. Lord Krishna's words are conquered because he always chants the glories of his devotees. Devotees chant his glories and he chants his devotees' glories. Lord Krishna's mind is conquered because he always thinks about his loving devotees. Manobir. That's meditation on Krishna for sure. Krishna meditating on his devotee. Now, this is the last slide for this evening. You all recognize the scene. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu having a discussion with Ramananda Roy. Little background for those of you that are a little newer. Ramananda Roy was a governor of Madras, and he was not from an elevated family. He was a Kayasta family, but he was highly elevated spiritually and a very competent manager, so he was a governor. And when Lord Chaitanya was planning to make a South Indian tour, ostensibly to look for his elder brother who had taken sannyas and went off to South India somewhere, imagine going somewhere in South India looking for somebody. It's a big, South India's a big place. But it was another purpose. It was giving Krishna consciousness. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, super scholar Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, I would say more, but because of time I won't. He made this recommendation. I know you're going to go. We wish you to not go, but we can't ask you to not go. So please do this. When you go, meet Ramananda Roy. Before, I met him, and I thought he was a sentimentalist. But now that I've met you, I understand he's most elevated. And you'll enjoy very much his association. So please, make some arrangements somehow. So the arrangement was made by divine intervention, and he met with the king. Or he can meet the governor. So there's the governor, and there's Lord Chaitanya, and it was a role reversal. The sannyasi is asking the governor for spiritual answers to spiritual questions. And the first question, what's the goal of life and the means to achieve it? That's a nice place to start a discussion. And one of the verses, they discussed many. It's a nice section from Chaitanya Charitamrita, but the one that Lord Chaitanya accepted was this one. So, we're at least, I plan to cover starting with verse number 4, and we'll see how far we get, maybe up to verse number 8 of prayers. But between now and 2 evenings from now, go over verse number 3, meditate on what verse number 3 is saying, because it's so important. A nice place to look is Chaitanya Charitamrita, where extensive commentary is made to explain the importance of this verse. Why did Lord Chaitanya say yes when before he said no? Including, other very key verses from Bhagavad Gita, without having another class on that topic right now because of time. It's a nice verse. It's a very important verse. And it's right in Lord Brahma's prayers. One more time. Lord Chaitanya accepted, yes, this is the goal of life and the means to achieve it. I didn't get very far. But let's see if there's some discussion. We have a portable microphone if somebody wants to volunteer.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much. This wonderful session. All the pictures were so good to meditate on.
It takes a while to gather all those pictures.
Yes, I can understand that. Yeah. Thank you so much, Maharaj. So if possible, can you share this presentation with us?
I have a policy, I don't do that.
Okay.
There's reasons, but I won't go into the reasons. I don't do that.
Okay. Okay, Maharaj. Yeah. Okay, so Maharaj, My question is, when we hear these pastimes and when we read the prayers from Srimad Bhagavatam, we can see how like Krishna's form qualities, and that time we feel so blissful while reading, but eventually after that we'll forget, and when we do other activities we'll totally forget, and we'll so how to meditate constantly on those form and qualities?
Become Krishna conscious. And how do you become Krishna conscious? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam Bandham. You follow the process, and that's how you become Krishna conscious. And when you're Krishna conscious, it stays with you. What you do, I'll just a little sharing, because I was with Garuda and he shared some very interesting things. One of the things that he shared was he sometimes dreams in Sanskrit. No, I don't think I'm going to ever dream in Sanskrit. But what you do during the day, it comes in your dream. And if you're absorbed, so it's a qualitative. If you're absorbed, then it stays with you. And even when you're doing something else, that something else is felt from the inside, because it's inside. The connection with the outside is felt. And then there's an eagerness to get back to the inside. So there's a very nice teaching, amongst many nice teachings, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Raghunath Das Goswami. Now you've been around, so you know, so I'll just say this so that you understand it. Raghunath Das Goswami had zippo interest in the fabulous wealth of his father and uncle. No interest at all. And he was the only son. He was due to inherit it all. No interest in it at all. And he kept, this, you know the whole story. They married him to a very beautiful girl, so money and a beautiful wife. He had no interest at all. He tried running away, and his father sent soldiers and captured him and brought him back, and tried again and again and again. The second time that he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had accepted sannyas. Anyway, without all the detail, Raghunath Das met Lord Chaitanya privately and said, "Please take me with you." And he was like, restless. And Lord Chaitanya scolded him. He said, "It's not so easy to break away from one's material life. Be patient, and outwardly and inwardly. Outwardly, live a normal life. And inwardly, cultivate your attraction for Krishna. And by doing so, surely Krishna will deliver you in quickly." And that's what happened. So he said, no, go back home. And so he did what Lord Chaitanya said. And anyway, so what we do in the world we should do for Krishna. And that's karma yoga. Yad karoshi, yad asnasi, yad shahosi, dadasi, yad, etc. That's karma yoga. The result goes to Krishna. And then bhakti is step above karma yoga. It's bhakti yoga, where everything that you do, it's not like you stop. There's certain. There's certain worldly things, they're no-nos. We just don't do them because they're no-nos. But those things that are yes, yes, instead of no-no, we do them for Krishna with devotion. So you cultivate bhakti, and then your life becomes bhakti. It's not like you stop doing worldly things, but as needed, you do. And then time moves and circumstances change, and as circumstances change, it evolves to a more full Krishna-centered life. And you still do stuff, but when you do stuff, you're not forgetting Krishna, because bhakti has become stronger. So you'll right back to square one. How does bhakti begin? And you do that. And you cultivate it. You seriously cultivate it because you want reality. If you're clear that's what you want, then that's what's going to happen. And you follow the practices, the sadhana, the abhyasa, the practice that brings awakening of spiritual consciousness and the dialing down of material absorption, so that you do the material things in a moderate fashion, which was Lord Chaitanya's instruction to Raghunath Das Goswami. Be moderate. Don't trash it. Just be responsible. But be inwardly attached to Krishna. Cultivate that. It happens. And you could go back and go back and go back. You chant your japa every day, and you hear Srimad Bhagavatam every day, and you worship your deity every day. You do those things that have the potency, and then do those things that have the potency in a conscious way. And you strive every day, every day, every day. Some days better, some days weaker, but you strive every day. And you'll get there. He who strives by right means is assured of success, Krishna says. Yes.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful class. I liked all the beautiful paintings, and especially the first verse was
Beautiful.
It's
Huh?
beautiful. I want to meditate on it, learn the verse, and also the third verse. So my question is, Brahmaji composed the Brahma Samhita at the beginning of creation.
Yeah.
He was all knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So now he's bewildered. Can you shed light on it?
So how did he go from the Brahma Samhita to getting bewildered?
Yes.
That's your question.
Yes, Maharaj.
There are different explanations. It's not like in the case of Indra that Indra had become proud. Now, Brahma is powerful, and it's one of the risks of having power, that one can also become intoxicated with that power. Later on in his prayers, he's going to say like that. With the second set of prayers, with expressions of humility, he's going to confess his pride. But what kind of pride did he have compared to, a worldly person's kind of pride? So it's more humility than it is pride. So a big part, this is my understanding, a big part is a little bit like Arjuna being bewildered. Or we had this, because of this Memorial Day weekend, how did the gopis become bewildered or proud? Twice in the same chapter. The gopis were proud, and then Radharani was proud. No, there's no pride. They're not like sadhakas that kind of got carried away. So, induced by the Yogamaya potency or Lila Shakti, things can happen that are quite unusual, not normal, for purposes of Krishna giving instruction, like Krishna gives instruction to Arjuna. No, who's Arjuna? He's an eternal associate of Krishna. Eternal. Whenever Krishna appears, Arjuna's there. Arjuna's eternal associate. So how does he get bewildered? So how does Brahma get bewildered? For a pastime. And the end is, wow. So whatever he's realized and expresses in Sri Brahma Samhita and the Govinda prayers there, it's amplified here. When you hear his prayers, they're out of sight. Now, what he expresses in the Govinda prayers or the Brahma Samhita prayers, that's very high. And it's further. This is Braja. This is Krishna in Braja. And that's higher than building a universe. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much for a wonderful presentation. Verse 3, the Stanistita verse. How to understand that when it says one can remain in one social position and still attain perfection?
Why not? I mean, that's the goal and how to achieve it. The how to achieve it doesn't mean you have to become a sannyasi. If you're a Shankara follower, you have to become a sannyasi. For a Vaishnava, you don't have to become a sannyasi. You don't have to take this, this ashram, et cetera, et cetera. There's no material prerequisite. It's an essential teaching of bhakti. There's no material prerequisite. So, stay in your position. It says sthane stata. So, how many of you take the 12 Mahajans, how many were renunciates and how many were grahastas? The majority were grahastas. Sthane stata. Okay? Clear?
So one does not have to become a Vanaprastha.
You don't have to. You don't have to. No, as you evolve spiritually, then like Prabhupada says, a grahasta sannyas. That means they follow the standards of grahasta and they don't deviate. Jayadev. There's so many nice examples. So many nice examples. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, 10 children. How many children do you have? So, Stane Satak. And he wrote 100 books. How many books have you written? I haven't written one either. So, there's not a requirement to change ashrams or change anything. Stay in your social position. And dedicate that, just like her question, the very first question. It's the dedication to the topics. Dedication, not just spend some time with this and dilly-dally with that and haribol. It's dedication. A life of dedication to transcendence from whatever the position, social position. Okay? Something else.
Krishna Maharaj, there are a couple of questions online.
Okay, go ahead.
First one is by Anusha Mataji. Guru Maharaj, as I am hearing these Vraja Kathamrita stories, it fascinates me, but not sure what is my mood while hearing.
Well, you're not sure what?
My mood while hearing.
Well, you have to ask yourself that question, not me.
Second question by Neeraj Bhatnagar Prabhu. Hare Krishna Maharaj, I could not understand how there were 3 sets of gopas. Can you
Okay,
please
let's do
elaborate?
it again. 3 sets of gopas. 1, 2, 3. The third set, we'll go backwards. The third set was a set of gopas that Krishna manifested. Those weren't the original gopas. That's the third set. The first set, when Krishna understood, Yogamaya assisted Krishna to fulfill Krishna's desire, and Yogamaya came and concealed the original. And then Mahamaya provided set number 2. Here's a detail. Lord Brahma has powers, and Lord Brahma put the cowherd boys and the calves and, quote, put them to sleep. But our acharyas say you can't put, Brahma doesn't have the power to do anything with Krishna's cowherd boys. They're Satchitananda forms like his. And his potency doesn't act on the spiritual platform. His potency acts on the material platform. Therefore, he could put the Maya cowherd boys to sleep in the cave. To sleep means just like those of you that have had an operation, anesthesia. When you've had anesthesia and the anesthesia wears off, what's your sense of passage of time? No time, because it's deep sleep. And it's not no time. So when the cowherd boys that were the Maya cowherd boys, we don't hear what happened to the Maya cowherd boys at the end of this, because the original cowherd boys, we do hear what happened. At the end of 1 year, Yogamaya put them back, and there they were having lunch with Krishna, as if a moment had passed. And they didn't have a sense of that they were separated from Krishna for a year. Now Krishna knew what was going on, but they didn't. So that's the first set. And then the third set, Krishna withdrew them. He manifested them and withdrew them. And the Maya cowherd boys, we don't find out what happened with them. They were just Maya cowherd boys, they disappeared. That's all. But that's the 3 sets.
There's one last question, Maharaj.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, as long as we are not engaged in 24 hours direct devotion to Krishna, do we remain on platform of Karma Mishra Bhakti?
Karma Mishra Bhakti? You may be asleep. I don't know what you call that, Karma Mishra Bhakti. This is your son? This little boy?
Daughter.
Huh?
Daughter.
Daughter. Very precocious. Little one. Keeps you busy, probably. So it not necessarily could be Jnana Mishra Bhakti, it could be other, does not necessarily. Karma is more popular than Gyan in this world. So, what one does, you say the question is saying 24 hours a day, but so if one's activities are not, we're devotees of sorts, but we're not on the 24-hour platform or Ananya Bhak platform, then there's some mixture. And largely yes, but karma and Gyan both mixed. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj, for the wonderful class.
Here comes the microphone, so others can hear you.
Thank you very much for the class. I just have one quick question. So these 3 manifestation sets of gopas
Yeah.
happen simultaneously?
Yes. No problem for Krishna.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question.
Well, one of them just got concealed. Another one is a Maya, and the other one Krishna manifested. Like boom, boom, boom. Srila Prabhupada ki Gaur Premanandi. Now, I should have somewhere here a box of Mahaprasadam from Radha Nila Madhava in Houston, Texas. And where's the box? Oh, there's the box.